Collective Minds podcast.
It's never fucking had it.
Shut. No way.
Never fucking
No
had it.
way.
Wait, Austin, you trying to tell something else right now?
As humans, everybody lives in the same reality. We could all be in the same room together, but we perceive it differently.
All that experience, all that emotions, all the things that happen in that one life is boiled down to what we call instinct. And that's the only thing we can bring over to the next life.
You won't behave. You'll be canceled.
Coincidence? Coincidence? Coincidence. There cannot be three. All right, hello and welcome back to the Collective Minds podcast. We got a short one here for you today. As always, you got me, Astral, and second seat tonight is Ledger. So, I guess, buddy, we're talking a little bit about some dead fish that rolled up in Texas this last weekend. NPR title here, why thousands of fish washed up on these Texas beaches. And going into that, I already assumed it was just going to be global warming. And we don't have enough electric vehicles. So let's hit it. Over the past weekend, troves of dead fish appeared on the shores of multiple beaches in southeast Texas after struggling to find enough oxygen underwater. Boom, there's no oxygen in the water. That's weird. Quintana Beach County Park announced on Friday that dead fish were washing up by the thousands. The department warned the public to stay clear of the local beaches until all of the fish had been cleared due to the risk of being exposed to bacteria and sharp fins. So, bacteria, and sharp fins. Fish do decompose pretty quickly once they're out of the water in the heat. Crews are continuing to clear the carcasses of dead fish, which park officials described as shredded skeletons. The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department's Kill and Spills team responded to the situation and determined the cause of the massive die-off was a low-dissolved oxygen event, meaning fish essentially suffocated. Here's what to know about what happened. When asked what contributed to the fish deaths, Quintana Beach County Park officials said it was a perfect storm of factors. So it was a bunch of coincidences that just happened at once. Perfect storm. First, warm water is not ideal for fish. It tends to hold less oxygen. That is especially true in shallow water, which heats up quicker. So, a school of fish likely found themselves deprived of oxygen as they swam through shallow waters in the summertime. Another problem was that seas near county beaches were quite calm over the past few weeks, meaning there were few waves and winds to help redistribute oxygen into the water. Over the past few days, the skies above the beaches were cloudy. That is an issue for phytoplankton, which help produce oxygen in the water by using photosynthesis. That process is driven by sunlight. So the less they are exposed to the sun by way of overcast, the less oxygen phytoplankton produce. So they're saying it was because of heat and it's not good at keeping oxygen, and phytoplankton weren't allowed to make oxygen because it wasn't sunny, it was cloudy, and then the ocean itself wasn't able to grab it because it wasn't windy. I don't know. It just seems weird. We've been seeing this over the past few years, Ledger, where many things have been showing up dead out of the oceans, or like birds falling from the sky, large clusters of things dying off like that. So I guess the real question is, what do you think it is?
I don't know. Wait, I didn't even know that Texas had beaches. I thought they were little. I thought Texas didn't have a coast, to be honest.
So it's down in the
I
Gulf.
guess they do have, the Gulfs.
So
I don't know.
It was saying
there wasn't like an oil spill or nothing like that.
I don't know, but you remember a little while back, the military was pretty much blowing up something in the ocean. If you remember, it was like a year ago.
It was a little over that when they were testing the nukes or whatever.
I don't know what they were doing. It didn't. That's what that might have been what they said. And you remember the whole fire as well that was out in the ocean, and we saw like right around that time too. It was like a big circle of fire.
A fire in the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. But I mean, between that and them blowing stuff up, and I mean, I don't know where it could be all coming from, or what's really causing it. Yeah, so we don't know exactly what's going on here. However, when I don't know, every time I hear about oceans being dirty and everything, I think of just China, because I guess most of the garbage you actually like recycle and everything gets sent to China We pay China to get rid of it, and they either burn it or they dump it into the oceans. And that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm not entirely sure how these oceans kind of work. And I'm not saying it's necessarily what we would just call garbage. However, it could be like distributing, like just dumping chemicals from plants and stuff, factories, things like that, like toxic chemicals into the water. And just like, or it could be from these trains derailing. As we saw, people's chickens and small animals were dying quickly. People were like getting sick or, not feeling well. Well, a small animal that's closer to the ground where these chemicals land, they become the first ones affected. This news article is talking about very small feeder fish for other animals, for other species of, marine life critters that they eat, which means they're bigger than like plankton and stuff, but they're being affected. I wonder if they've checked like small plankton levels and stuff like that. I don't think it's oxygen. I think it's bullshit. And jumping into like a little bit of research of this and knowing that China just dumps shit in the ocean, I came across this because, as we all know, China is buying a ton of farmland and land in the US and also Canada and pretty much everywhere. But title of this New York Times of this year: why Chinese companies are investing billions in Mexico. Says alarmed by shipping chaos and geopolitical fractures, exporters from China are setting up factories in Mexico to preserve their sales to the United States. So apparently, as the Southern American border, U.S. Mexico border is open, South Americans are coming up. It appears that Chinese factories are moving in. I wonder if they're bringing their employees or what's going on with that. However, there's a good chance if they're building these factories that they are not bound by the same laws or rules, or even if they care enough to keep it clean. There's a good chance that this may be affecting the marine life in a place where they don't live. I mean, because the Chinese live off of a lot of like seafood. It always has been, and it probably always will be. And it's not like the healthiest seafood because of what they dump into their oceans that we end up getting here at some point in time down the road over and over again. But the giant garbage patches in the middle of the oceans are from China. Most of them. I'm wondering. So here it says our main market is the United States. We don't want to lose that market. They're a leech on us. So why not move closer while...
But, what do you think all that land's for?
In the US?
Yeah, in Mexico or Canada.
Well, they already came out and said like Biden was going to allow them to like start drilling our oil on in our country on the land that they purchased. So you have communist China trying to drill oil in our country and sell it back to us, probably at lower rates than, I mean, we're buying it from overseas now instead of getting it ourselves, but we're allowing our number one enemy, in my opinion, to do so. However, this could be many things. It could be just some weird satellite stuff, could be weird sun stuff, could be weird testing down there. Who knows? But something's happening. And I've been noticing this year. I mean, I've went fishing a couple times. We've went searching for mushrooms and just certain things that are abundant in these areas, and we're not finding them. And it seems like more nature is disappearing as they're coming out with this more tech and more AI stuff. And it just appears the longer the Biden administration continues to hold this power, that all of our resources are starting to disappear. But yeah, you got any crazier ideas on that, Ledger?
Aliens. It's all connected.
You think it's the aliens? They're definitely trying to push that agenda.
Frogs. Could be the gay frogs.
The gay frogs. Gay frogs are affecting all the fish.
Yep.